Hello and welcome to the Big East Rewind. I'm Chuck Everson, and my partner, as always, is the great Sonny Sparrow. How are you, son?
Chuck, I'm great. I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Again, this is part of our Macy's Herald Square Beast of the East collection from Starter. We had a big drop with, of course, Carl Banks, the great Carl Banks, two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants, and G3, his company. And Carl's crew, including Tony Shillman and a bunch of others. And we had such a great time with those guys and appreciate everything that they did for us. So thank you very much. Shout out to Carl and Tony. Appreciate you guys. And we had a great time with this group. It's funny. Some guys you know all about immediately. Some guys you kind of know who they are, but not really when they played and all. And these guys all played together, and I'm glad they all sat down together because there was family involved. You had two cousins involved, and you had the MVP of the '94 Big East tournament was involved. So
Mhm.
it was a very a good day, especially if you're a Friar fan. So, and we've been pretty fortunate. As we did this last year, we had Otis Storp on and Harold Starks, both from the Providence Friars,
Mhm.
and this one we might have trumped that with this crew, Sonny, don't you think?
Absolutely. They were a lot of fun. And the challenge when you're doing three guys at once is keeping each of them engaged,
Engaged. Yeah,
and in the conversation, and then come to find out, Eric and Jason, they're cousins, but they were raised together by their grandmother.
right,
That was
right.
fascinating, and just the way it was just matter of fact and how they spoke and very humble guys, all of them. And
All
Eric
of them. Yeah.
Eric makes it to the league, and Chris has
Eric played 10 years in the league.
right, and Chris had what a hell of a run in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
So,
Rob. Rob.
they got their flowers, but I mean, it was still impressive to hear and see about their accomplishments, but then to talk to them, you won't meet three more down to earth dudes.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing was I happen to know that David Miller and Lance Miller, two of my brethren Wildcats that played after me, but I know them a lot through AAU, and I coached some of their girls, and they coached Kathleen a little bit, so I knew them for a long time, and they always talked about the games that they played against Eric, and I figured out in short order that Jason was part of that, so I thought that was pretty cool, and
That was neat. You had a
we
comedic
talked about
connection.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were shocked because they didn't know we knew that, so
I can tell you one thing.
that was pretty good.
I damn sure didn't know.
Yeah. Well, you got to do we have our people everywhere, Sonny, you
Yeah,
know?
we do. Yeah, we got our little flies on the wall everywhere. So
And the
careful.
other thing was that we didn't mention yet. The other thing was Eric Murdock was named Big East legend by the Big East Conference, and he
Hmm.
got his flowers there, and he was very humbled by that. He was taken back by that. And all those guys that have had that honor have all basically said the same thing, Sonny. What a tremendous honor because of the history of the conference to be named a Big East legend is a big deal to these guys, and the Big East does a nice job with that. They bring a guy out, they give him a little like a plaque or something, and they give him some gear too, which everybody loves gear, Sonny, so
Yep.
they got legend gear. So everybody wore their legend gear until we had to redress everybody with starter gear. So they were all had the new Providence Friars starter jackets on, and we heard all about their starter stories, and it was just a lot of fun talking to these guys. We had a lot of fun, and we hope that you're going to have a lot of fun right now as you check out Jason Murdock, Big East legend Eric Murdock, and Rob Phelps, who was, like I said, the MVP of the '94 Big East tournament right here on the Big East Rewind. Hope you enjoy it. Everybody, and welcome back to Macy's Herald Square, where we're dropping the starter line and the Beast of the East collection with all the Big East teams, from the hats to the shirts to the jackets and everything in between. and welcome to the Big East Rewind. I'm Chuck Everson, your host from Villanova University, and my partner, as always, Dr. Sonny Sparrow. How are you, Sonny?
Doing great, doing great. Looking forward to talking to some Friars today, man.
Yeah, listen, it's been a minute since we've talked
It
to some
has.
Friars, so I'm looking forward to it myself. It's and when we had Starks on last year, Harold
Right.
Starks came and joined us, and Otis, Big Otis was there with us last
That's
year,
right.
and
I'm still afraid of Otis.
we talked about still.
Still afraid. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's a big dude. Um, we talked about the history because
Yep.
they had that day or weekend, I should say, where they had 150 alumni came back, and I thought that was awesome how they put that all
Incredible.
together. You know,
And you don't realize the history till you actually see some of it.
yeah,
and you
all the
start to
coaches
remember.
came back.
You know, you go back to Ernie D and Marvin Barnes, and that first started the recognized.
Yep.
Oh wow, this is a good school and a good team, and fast forward to where we are today.
And well, we are well represented today with
Yep.
Friars. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our team. We almost have a whole team. We got
We do.
Actually, we do. If you could still
Yeah.
shoot it, I don't know. I don't know.
I
If you
don't know
can.
if I can move.
I didn't move anyway when I played. I just stood on the block and they gave me the ball. That was it. So, without any further ado, we've got with us today Jason Murdock, Rob Phelps, and newly crowned Big East legend, Eric Murdock. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good, man.
Good.
Awesome.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. And Eric, you guys. Let's start with you. Talk to us about the honor that you had. I mean, they've been doing this now. I think it's the third year, and I think Ernie D was one, and
Yeah.
I don't know who was last. And Otis was.
Otis.
Yeah, Otis was last year. So talk about being in that company for
Pretty
your
good company,
university,
yeah.
first of all, and second of all, being a part of the Big East legendary club.
A tremendous honor. You know, Chuck, how tough the Big East was back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. Every team was a rivalry. I don't care if you played St. John's, Georgetown, Boston College, Villanova, Pitt. It was 9 teams, and every team, it was a rivalry. And it was a war. I remember my first game as a freshman in the Big East. After the game, it felt like I played a football game.
Yeah.
Because I played football in high school.
That's the big.
I mean, it took me literally 2 days to recover from that game. And I said to myself, oh, this is how it is. So I had to try to really prepare for that.
Right.
But each and every game was a war. And, I'm a competitive guy, and I love the competition. I love being the fact that I wasn't at the top, but we were always trying to beat the top. Providence College is a school that, we compare it as like the little engine that could. So we always trying to chuck up and, beat the Syracuses, beat the Georgetowns, the Villanovas. And, when we do it, it's a major accomplishment. But to be mentioned with the greats of the Big East, man, I don't take that lightly.
No, nor should you. I mean, it's a great honor and well deserved, man. I mean, listen, we've all seen you play, and it's very well deserved. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here with us on the couch. I mean, that's the real deal.
How did you get notified? What was that whole process like?
They emailed me probably a month ago and said that I was the legend selected for this year. I knew Ernie D did it last year. I think Otis Thorpe did it a couple years ago. And, I saw the email and I couldn't believe it. I opened it up and I was like, me? And I'm still like that. I'm still like, yeah, I did accomplish a lot, but you don't really feel it until something like that happens.
Right.
And, I'm just grateful. Providence College was a school that, we just worked hard, man. And you didn't even think about anything else. The coaches told you to do something, and you just did it. The one thing I could say, looking back, Rick Pitino recruited me at Providence, but when I got there, never played for him. He went to the Knicks. So Gordy Chiesa was my coach.
Okay.
And Gordy
Yeah.
Chiesa instituted the same type of philosophy and program. And the one thing that we did was individual instructions. And I know you guys remember that, where in between classes, you would go into the gym one-on-one with a coach. And for that hour, you would go as hard as you can working on all the skills. And I could tell you to this day, if I didn't have individual instructions, I wouldn't have made it to the NBA. Because I came in, my left hand was very weak, didn't have confidence in it. But when you do something over and over again in games, it just becomes natural. And that's the one thing that got me over the hump. So Rick Pitino, he didn't recruit me, but his system stayed, and it helped me individually. You know, and,
Yeah.
and as far as skill development, I think Providence is up there at the top as far as guys getting better
Yeah.
from when they come in
much
as
so.
freshmen and
Yeah.
then when they leave as seniors. That was,
They're known
back
for
in the
it.
day.
100%.
You know.
Yeah. Talk about now, from when you guys played till now. I mean, there's a big, huge difference as far as the atmosphere in the dunk or whatever it's called these days. It was the Civic Arena back when we played.
Yeah,
It's
it was
called
about
the AMP now.
Yeah.
What's it
Okay,
called?
they've changed names a couple of times.
What's it called now? I'm sorry.
Amp.
Amp. So I mean, you guys go back to games, right? So the atmosphere there is probably one of the best in college basketball. I have to say. I mean,
It's really cool.
Driscoll did a great job of putting all that stuff together.
DJ Finesse?
Finesse, my
DJ
guy.
Finesse,
That's
our
my
guy.
Shout out
right?
to
We've
DJ
had him
Finesse.
here last year with us.
Yeah.
So Rob, talk about that for a second because you go there. It's intimidating. I mean, listen, I went there with Mark Plansky, who played on the '85 team with me. We walk across the court because they're playing Bill, and we're going to say hello to people, and we get booed. I said you weren't even alive when I played. You're booing me. So talk about that.
Every time I go back to the games, they do a tremendous job. Because when we played, we didn't really have no DJ Finesse. We didn't have any of those things. So now that they have that, this is the new era of basketball. It's not just basketball; it's entertainment.
Entertainment.
So they do a great job of doing that and building the environment. And I enjoy it, because I love the fact that, they're playing music, the kids are enjoying themselves, they're having fun. So it's a great environment because, like I said, it's not just basketball, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
So they playing both parts. They give them the basketball part of the entertainment, but they also get the music, the dancing, the cheerleading, the crowd environment. So
The kids are into it. For sure.
into it. So it's a great environment. When I go there, I have fun. And then they always recognize us. When we come back, Rob is in the house, E's in the house, Jay's in the house. Everybody that come back, because it's a family, you
Right.
know. It's a good environment.
Jason, what's your experience?
It's just a great community feel too. Being at the Garden, I ran into a couple of fans. And it's just generational. When you're in Providence, these families love Providence basketball. So now it's their kids.
Right.
They're wearing your jerseys. They
Right.
come and say hello, and they never forget about you. So I'm tremendously grateful for the love that was showed from the Providence community, and that just made playing with a great sense of pride and passion. We tried to just represent the city as best we could.
Now, I'm going to go off subject for a minute because you and Eric are cousins, right? Your family. All right. So did you grow up in Jersey with Eric?
We grew up in the same household.
Okay.
Raised by our grandmothers.
So were you part of the team, the 2-on-2 team against the Miller brothers in the park? That's what I want to know. Lance,
How the
and
hell
David
you know
Miller.
about those games?
I know everything.
Well, we
And listen,
do our research.
who do you think you're talking to, Eric? This is professional journalism at its best. That and the fact that Lance and I have been close for about 40 years, will tell you how I know. So
Jay
talk about
Jay
that.
was a little younger.
Okay.
So actually, Jay would go against their father. So when we did 3-on-3, he would go against their
Right.
father. But yeah, it was myself, it was Daryl Murdock, it was Dave Miller and Lance Miller.
Yeah, Dave and Lance, yeah.
And we would play 2-on-2 in the park. And if we won, we would it made our day. It made our night. We slept good.
Up the street versus down the street.
Yeah, up the
Right,
street versus
up
down
the
the
street,
street.
down the street, that's
But
right.
if we lost, me and Daryl down there practicing drills, 2-on-2, giving goals, things of that nature, because
That's
we
awesome.
just wanted to win so bad. I tell you, that park that we played, I mean, if you lost, 5-on-5 pickup, just go home, because there was 5 teams waiting to get on the court. And so you could imagine the intensity that was out there on those courts. And that's how we got better each and every day, just
Right.
playing against our cousins, our uncles. It was a village that raised us out there. So we talk
Yeah.
about David Lance's father.
Hobbstown.
He was one of the pillars of Hobbstown, just teaching us how to play basketball, and that's where we got our competitive spirit from.
Yeah, shout out to my guys, Lance and David. It was David's birthday, I think, a day or two ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So,
D,
we do
happy
a
birthday,
thing,
boy.
We do a thing, and we have a text thread. I have with the different groups, Lapis's group and Jay's group and Coach Mass's group. So everybody wished Dave a happy birthday the other day. So that was good. So, Rob, tell us a little bit now. You went on one of the greatest runs ever in the Big East tournament, Talk about that for a second. I know you're a humble guy, but you can speak freely here. You got your boys here with you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Listen, we again, you said we shared some highlights of you on our Facebook page from that tournament. Talk about that for a second, because that was exciting stuff, man.
Yeah, that was a great run. We went out and we got it done. That was the first time Providence ever won the Big East championship. As great as E was, E didn't get a
Never
Big
got.
East championship.
Yeah, of
Yo,
course you got to give us some stuff, Rob. I like that.
Sonny, is there blood coming out of my
that.
back,
Yeah,
man?
I like
God
that.
damn, what is that?
That went quick.
He was great, but
Wait. What are we,
me,
10 minutes?
me and Jay was on that team, and it was just just a great feeling going out there getting it done. But E was a part of that because I practiced against E. E got me better, and all those Chris Watts, all those guys, they got me better. And we went out there, and E I'm very competitive. I used to always guard E. I didn't want to guard no one else but E, and we used to go at it. So it got me better. So it got me prepared to do what I did in that night.
Right.
Who was your coach?
Rick Barnes. I had Coach
Rick
Barnes.
Barnes,
And E
That's
had
right.
him as
Yeah,
well.
Coach Barnes.
Okay.
Rob didn't mention his 22-point game in the semifinals.
Well, I was hoping somebody was going to bring it up, so I didn't have
I'll
to
bring
do
it
that.
up.
But yeah.
Too
He's a
humble, this guy.
dude.
Too
I
humble.
get it, man. I respect
Big
that.
time game that day.
Well, Eric, at least there was a Murdock that won the championship.
Yeah, Jay
for
was
Big
part
East.
of that.
Now, you got to be happy about that.
100%. Listen, man. Anything Providence College does, I'm so happy because that's the only show up there in town.
Yeah.
There's no NBA, there's no baseball, there's no hockey. It's Providence College basketball. This year was a down year, so I think the next 3 months is probably the most important 3 months in Providence College history.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And listen, I talked briefly to Harold Starks. I ran into him this morning. He was here earlier. It's tough what they did. I mean, it's one thing you're going to let somebody go. You don't leave them in charge of the team and go through the tournament knowing that he's not going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
if you
a tough
lose tonight,
situation.
that's it.
Forever.
Imagine they win the Big East tournament, win a couple games in the NCAA tournament, and they fired his coach. And Kim English is my guy. I love Kim English. I hope they give him another year. But with the NIL stuff, it's like you're just throwing 10 guys together for 3 or 4 months or whatever it is, and you just hope that they mesh. Like
Right.
you hope that the chemistry is there. We went to school as freshmen. We got better as sophomores. We got better as juniors. The fans knew us.
Right.
It was totally different. You develop chemistry.
Right.
Now you're just throwing 5, 10 guys together, and you just say, okay, you're the point guard, you're the this. You don't know what his mentality is.
Right.
If he's just trying to go get the bag somewhere else, put up numbers. It's all about winning. When you win, everybody eats. And hopefully kids understand that. But the new landscape of college athletics is totally different.
Totally different.
You better get with the times.
Yeah, or get out.
You better get with the times. Don't be bitter about it. You better go raise some money and get some players into your program, or you're going to be.
It's not only that, but now you look at St. John's, okay, and let's talk about real tactics. Back when we all played, you couldn't transfer within the Big East
Couldn't
without
transfer in
sitting
the
out
Big East.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Then you got Bryce leaves you guys, arguably your best player over the last couple of years, right? And now he's wearing the red and white of St. John's, and Rick got him, and Rick's had a big backer, and you see what they're doing. But Rick's got to take all those personalities and kind of get some kind of coercion, that they're playing together as one. That's
the
not
world
easy
we're
to
in,
do,
though, now.
especially with the way everything is, because it was very glaring to me because I watch a lot of Big East now, obviously. They played Alabama early in the year, and Bryce and Zuby scored all the points in the first half. And then it was like the guard said, nah, you ain't getting the ball this half. Because all the guards scored in the second half, and I said, he's got problems there. But to his credit,
Great coach.
He's a great coach.
Great coach.
He took an ass beating from Connecticut and then turned around 2 nights later and did the exact same thing to my Wildcats.
Right.
To me, that shows how far they've come, and it shows a lot of integrity and character, that in that game, So you were gonna say with the?
No, I'm just saying Patino is a great, great coach.
Yeah.
And when you talk about a great coach, is that first of all, he was the one that incorporated the three-point shot and
Yeah,
made
you're
it a
right.
weapon
Yep.
with the 87
Billy the
Friars.
Kid in them,
Bill-
right? Yeah.
Billy Donovan,
Donovan.
Delray Brooks, all of Darryl Wright, that he made that a weapon.
Delray Brooks.
Goes to different programs and he wins at different programs. He's just a guy that,
Little innovator.
changes with the times.
Adapt very
You know what I
well.
mean? He adapts, and he is adapt to, and he's older. Some coaches said, you know what, screw this, man. I can't deal with it.
Look at all the coaches who left. Coach K, Jay Wright, Tony Bennett,
Coach Boeheim.
Roy Williams, Coach Boeheim. They've all gotten out. And Rick stayed and is really playing the rules like he's supposed to. And you know what's interesting too, being an NBA guy, right? You guys got fined if you did something wrong, whether showing up late to a meeting. He's treating them like pros. They're getting fined. because
These
they
guys are pros.
Right, I know.
Listen,
You're right.
no more amateur athletics. These guys are pros. When you're making $1 million to play basketball,
Yeah.
that's professional sports, man.
Yeah, I agree.
That's professional, but they're one tier under the NBA. Because we probably saw today 5 pros out there
Yeah.
playing.
So I was going to ask you, think back to your freshman, sophomore year, right? You talked about staying, as was the case, right? You stayed at your school, and you grew together. So if you were to give advice to a player that's coming to Providence, probably going to be there for 1 year. Let's assume, right?
Let's look at the freshmen, Vox and
Yeah.
Edwards, I think, are
Try
freshmen.
to keep those guys.
Got to keep them.
gotta
But
try.
to keep them.
but you got to come up with enough money to match whatever offer they're going to have, right?
And that's the problem.
That's
Right?
the issue.
That's
You
the
got to
issue.
re-recruit your own players, which
Right.
is
So what
insane.
would be your advice to someone to go to Providence now, knowing that the landscape is what it is?
So
Because it's different than
I
if you
would
talk
say
to-
not just the Providence. I would say if, say for example, this kid Vox, who is all freshman team, right?
Right. Yep.
Now he's going to get offers from all of these schools, right? He's going to play at Providence if he stays at Providence, and he'll be the man. So say for example, somebody's offering him $1.5 million to play. I'm just
Right.
throwing numbers out there.
Right.
And Providence says, you know what, I got 1.2 for you. That's a decision you're going to have to make. Like, are you just going to go chase the bag, new coach, new system, don't know how it's going to go, or you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to stay right here, maybe be a leadership, maybe be a leader and recruit some of the players that's there to keep the core there,
Right.
and know that you're going to put up 18 points a game.
You still could go to the league. It's not like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the problem.
He still could go to the league and get that ball rolling as well. So
Yep.
that's why these
It
coaches
takes
are.
a different kind
Like,
of
you're
kid
not
because
coming
it's
from
not
small or a mid-major program,
right.
right? You're at a major program. You are being seen on a level of playing against pro players. Just like you said, there's 5-6 pros on the floor, right? So that it's a different conversation than if you're talking to someone coming as a freshman to Providence who you know is going to stay for a bit, right? What to expect, how to develop, right? See, the advice would be to me, it's like it's got to be a different approach,
Right.
you know?
And it takes a different kind of kid. I mean, to do what you're saying and stay for the 1.2 rather than chase the bag, it's a special kid that sees beyond the money, because the money will be there if you're good enough to play in the league. The money will
Right,
be
he's
there,
losing his coach too.
and you're losing everything.
That's
you know?
tough.
See, but
that's a
we,
Go ahead, Rob.
here's I think the difference. We enjoyed being around each other.
Right.
I don't know if some of these, because they chase the bag, do they really, like E said, the
They don't
chemistry?
have
do
the
they,
camaraderie, man.
We
You
used
don't
to-
have this.
We used to enjoy coming back, playing against each other in the summer. I remember when E went to the league and he came back and he was still working out with us when he was already in the league.
Right.
How much of that are you going to get? Would you still have that chemistry? Because now you're not going to have a home.
Yeah.
We still have a home.
Which
Right.
school you going back to?
Right, exactly.
Right.
See,
You've been at 4.
we have a home, so that's what's missing.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
I think that's a very different.
You know, it's
Agreed.
funny
You
because
gotta
we
get
had
your
we
degree
had
at
the
home.
kid on from Villanova, Duke Brennan, And Duke's an old throwback to that type of guy that when we all played, you know, and he gets it, and that's why he's the leader on that team, because he gets that stuff, and he understands, you know, playing for people that came before you. It's bigger than just you. You know what I mean? And
But that's what the game has come to. Like you just
That's
said, it's
right.
about you now.
Right.
When we played, it was about team.
Us, right.
You know, it was like you said, a us thing. So it's a different demographic. you
Right,
know?
and
Yep.
a coach, and that's the challenge that a coach has.
Yes,
Yep.
like
Almost every coach is going to get 10 to 12 new players every year.
yep.
yeah, so
And
it's
you hope you have enough money to get good players, right? And then you hope you have enough, I don't know, wisdom or magic
To build good
create-
character.
to create the right environment for kids, young men, to become men.
Yeah, my advice to these coaches is don't change. You coach these kids. You know, they may leave anyway. You
That's
coach
right.
the hell out of them while you got them. You know, whether that turns them off or not, it's going to depend what kind of kid you're coaching, but
Right.
don't change your style. Oh, I can't yell at this kid because he might leave. He might
Right.
leave anyway.
Yep.
I gotta
So
play
you better
everybody.
coach him. I bet
gotta
you
get
Rick.
everybody in the game.
I bet you Rick Pitino is coaching the hell out of his team.
Yeah, he is.
He-
You see him in the locker room yelling at him about where do you people come from?
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as
Iconic
things go
speech.
sour, when he starts that whole thing he gave it. Yeah, so that's so we got to ask you guys together collectively, okay? We're here with Starter at Macy's Herald Square. We're dropping the Beast of the East collection. What are your starter stories? When you got your first starter jacket, do you remember back in the day when you guys picked that up?
Or
I go,
saw?
now you got a brand new story. I'm looking at you guys. It's like
This is-
you guys are styling and
My
profiling.
first starter jacket was Georgetown.
Georgetown.
Oh,
Georgetown. That was my
all right. It was
everybody-
nice
Everybody
knowing you,
wanted
Rob.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for coming.
That
Thanks
was
for
my
playing.
that was my
You could
first
not have
starter
Georgetown.
jacket. But what I'm going to say is I really love these. So this is now the new
Yeah,
now with this starter jacket.
Providence.
Providence.
yeah. Last year was a different style, by the way. It was black, and it had the I think on the back it had the Friar.
Oh, that's
it
nice.
was pretty cool.
How
How about you, Jason?
Definitely Georgetown. You tried to match the sneakers with it. Really putting together, for some fashion. Just love it all though.
That was it, though.
Even-
On
even
all
that
kidding
right there,
aside,
calling it fashion.
yeah.
Nobody called us anything
No.
like fashion, but it
But
became.
that was
style.
it, though. That was the iconic
Right.
jacket that if you lived in a certain neighborhood, that's what you wanted
That had
to be wearing,
Georgetown on
man. Including the Hoya sneakers,
Yeah.
if you can ever get your hands on those. The rumor was Pinckney has a pair of the Hoya sneakers, but he wouldn't dare wear them around any of us.
Yeah,
But he has a pair. I know he does.
Gonna lose his
How about you,
Nova
E?
car.
So this is not a story I'm proud of, but there was this kid in school who had the Georgetown starter. And growing up, I was broke as a joke. I couldn't afford a starter jacket.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I did. It was like 3-card Molly with this kid, or we were shooting dice. Somehow I got that Georgetown starter jacket. But
That's okay.
You
The
know.
details are fuzzy.
details are
Details
fuzzy,
very
man.
Fuzzy.
If you're playing 3-card Molly
Allegedly.
with a kid, there's allegedly, hey, listen, the kid had no shot from
Statute of
word go.
limitations are going.
If you're,
All right.
especially if you're the
All right.
guy moving the cards.
Yeah.
I've seen Dwayne McClain do that on campus, and people were in different states of undress when I walk into the room. And I went, okay, I see what he's doing there. So listen, we appreciate you guys coming out. Last question, we gotta we're running up against it a little bit. Yep. What are your best and favorite memories of playing in the Big East? Rob, we know yours. I think, right?
Exactly.
Rob is easy. That's
I got a story about the Big East. Like the Big East, as far as being a Division I athlete, playing in the Big East, it was one of the hardest things I did in my life. Preseason was so difficult. The coaches, they tell you how great you are, great, and then when it's time to lace them up, you're the worst player
Worst
they've
thing
ever
I've ever
seen
seen.
in your life, right?
yeah.
So I had
You
a,
too?
We all been
yeah,
through
so
that. We all been there.
I had a roommate. His name was Keith Gaskins, right? So we have one of these things where we're just on the track all day, just running around 200, 400, 800, 1600, just all day. So after we're done, Keith Gaskins comes back to the room, opens up the closet, takes out his luggage, packs his
Packs.
stuff up,
Oh,
packs everything in his luggage, and said, "I'm out of here." I never talked to Keith since. So Keith, if you out there, give me a shout, man. I want to know what you're doing, man, because I remember that. But it was so difficult, the Big East, being a Division I player at that level, man. Like I said, it was one of the hardest things I did, and I'm proud of it, getting through it and the accomplishments that I achieved. So.
I think for me, obviously the championship year, but I was a young player on that team. Went on to play, graduate '97. We went to the Elite Eight that year. And I was just talking to Alvin Williams out there. Every single year, we lost in the semis to Villanova.
oh, really?
But they were just battles, man.
Did you hear what Chuck said?
The
Chuck said,
teammate-
oh, good.
I said, really?
I hope you said, I heard that.
The teammates that I've had, the coaches, Providence, trying to make a name for ourselves to win that tournament. Those are the battles. Those are the wins. On a personal level, we were down 17 in my sophomore year against Syracuse. I'm battling against the great late Lawrence Moulton. Came
yeah,
back. I
rest
hit
in
free
peace.
throws with 1 second to go in the Garden. Being from New Jersey, that was definitely my highlight. But just through the career, being East Coast guys, to play in Madison Square Garden, to represent your family, your friends, and the school, there's no greater feeling, and having those memories.
And there's no greater place to play, right? I know you think it's the
Well,
best place.
everybody knows that was my highlight.
Yeah.
I've had other great times and great games, but that was my highlight because, like Jay said, you coming home. I'm a Brooklyn guy. You coming home and your family and your friends, and then to have that kind of performance,
Yeah.
it was the best. That was the best time.
Well, listen, guys, it's been great chatting with you guys.
Awesome.
Especially
Thanks.
Rob and Jason. I haven't really met you guys before, but I've heard all about both of you.
Same
and,
here.
Eric and I have been around a couple of times,
Right.
and we're going to be around Tuesday on Michael Graham's thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Mike called me.
This
one-
Tuesday coming, right?
Yeah.
Should we be
yep,
nervous?
Yep. So
Should we
again,
be nervous?
Oh, he was
Jason
the
Murdock.
intimidator.
Rob Phelps
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
legend
84.
Eric Murdock. On
Thanks
the
for
Big
having
East
us,
Rewind.
guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.